best late-night conservative talk show in America, Sackheads Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk than Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on the immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work here, too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best late-night conservative talk, Sackheads Radio.
Sackheads
Radio.
Sackheads
Radio.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America. In America.
And in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.
And welcome to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It is a joy and a pleasure to have you here.
It's a throwback. Look.
Why are you looking at me when you say that? Like, I want to thank you.
It is October 18th, 2017. This is the Sackheads Radio Show. Of course, it is live on the SHR Media Network. And Clint's telling me something.
Yeah, I have no sound.
You have no sound again. Well, I'll fix that here. Here, how's that? You have sound now?
I have sound. I have no class still.
You
I
have no
sound.
class whatsoever.
None.
Of course, sitting to my left is the luxurious, the miraculous, the incredible, the awesome Larry Elder, who I'm up on a picture on the wall with right over
Hi,
here.
Larry. Good to see you.
Larry,
And
welcome.
sitting
Howdy.
like kind of in front of me and slightly to the left is Sackhead Clint. Hello,
To the
sir.
left-ish.
To the
Hello.
left. Aish.
Hello.
Aish.
To
Aish.
the point where I think he voted for Obama, don't you?
He's a little bit to the left.
He
yeah.
was a little
might-
bit to the left
A
at
little
that
bit more
time.
left than we expected.
Hey,
him.
no, I voted for Jerry Brown because he was more conservative than Meg Whitman.
I'm really glad I wasn't drinking a carbonated beverage.
I was just going to say,
when you said that.
BZ may have just went down, ladies and gentlemen.
Speaking of drinking, I have in my hand.
Oh boy.
Yes.
I'm drinking alcohol.
What?
Right
No.
now. So I'm drinking a rum and coke.
No.
And I'm celebrating. My sister-in-law drinks rum and cokes. This is for her. Hello, Casey. And I could, because I don't want her drinking alone, because I'm sure she's drinking like a lot tonight.
Yeah. I would.
And I find myself in a perpetual state of needing a drink lately. Is that bad?
No.
No,
Is that-
no,
No, it's totally
No,
acceptable.
that's professional. That's like what I
Yeah.
wrap every night. I wrap up my show and I say I will be soon meeting my KC 135 Kettle One refueling team
Perfect.
within the hour, and then I go back home and I do that.
So you see, so this is what a good
So this is
brother-in-law
okay.
I am. Like, I don't want her drinking alone.
Right.
So I decided to pour a drink,
Great.
and
Thorough
enjoy
good
one
song.
as well. Right. So it's there we go.
That is outstanding, and I
And
appreciate that.
I haven't had to drink here on set in a while, and since I'm one of the owners.
You haven't had. He hasn't
Yeah.
had to drink on the set for a while.
For a while.
Absolutely.
And so mostly because I haven't been here. And since I'm one of the owners, and
You can
I
damn
know
well do
for a
anything you
fact
want.
That we do not have a no drinking clause. As a matter of
We
fact,
actually encourage it.
in our contract, I was just going to say, Sean, didn't we write in the contracts to where it's like you shall take so many drinks of alcohol within a 30-day period?
Yes.
I
Yes.
think.
It's
and-
actually a requirement.
Yeah, and I know whiskey is usually the preferred alcohol of choice.
Right.
But in this case, I'm just going with rum. So best.
Go down Trinidad to make you feel so very glad.
What is that?
Calypso sing and make up rhyme, guarantee.
Come
you
on,
feel
get
good
with it.
like drinking rum and coca.
The Andrews sisters from
Wow.
World War II, rum and
Wow.
Coca-Cola. Come on,
Wow.
guys.
Wow.
Oh, we don't have to.
BZ, not all of us were around at that time.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, I know you hit your 21st birthday like right around that time there.
Is Coke
so
is Coke gonna pass for that?
I don't they should, right?
If only. Anyway, you said rum and Coca-Cola, and I thought, okay, great, I got to play the song. It was a great song.
I'm sure it was back in the day. It sounded miraculous.
It's a great. The Andrews sisters were great singers in World War II.
Were they actually were they actual sisters?
Yes, they were actual sisters. There were 5 of
Yeah,
them.
sisters in which sense of the word? Like in the racial sense of the word, or in the
No,
the,
that was
the relational
back in the olden days,
sense of
back
the
when
world.
sisters were actually sisters.
Back when people were actually related.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. It's a legitimate question.
It was
It is.
a legitimate
Today-
question.
Is it not?
Today, it certainly is, without a doubt.
And so, since before I really interrupted everybody by talking about my alcoholism, I wanted to.
No.
What?
You're not an alcoholic.
No, alcoholics go to meetings, and that's certainly not me.
Okay, all right, good.
So, seated to my left is the one, the only, the extraordinary bloviating Zeppelin, Mr. BZ.
Hi, folks.
And that was good to hear from you as well, BZ. Thank
And-
you so much.
Now, BZ, to your left is come on, BZ.
Oh, and to my left is the whiteboard.
Why's it got to be a whiteboard? This is why.
because
This is why
that's
the
what
left.
color it is.
I think we may have to get a camera for the
says-
whiteboard.
Okay, so I have to tell you guys a story.
Okay. I like your stories.
As you know, my stories are pretty good.
They're great.
And I don't know if my sister-in-law is going to appreciate this, but I think it's hilarious. So I destroyed the dreams of a 6-year-old.
Well, what else is new?
This week?
What else is new?
So my niece, God bless, she's an absolute sweetheart. She was very smart gal talking about people in history and kind of their importance and their contributions. And so she was kind of quizzing the adults in the car while we're driving from dinner, and she says, Cesar Chavez. And Cesar Chavez was a great man who helped the migrant farm workers and achieve rights and so forth. And she said, Uncle Clint, do you know who Cesar Chavez was? And my response was, absolutely. He was a communist revolutionary.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I said he was a communist revolutionary. We
Right,
absolutely
and
shouldn't be
I
celebrating
knew that was
man.
coming.
Admirer of Che Guevara.
And she,
Yes.
it was like I didn't mean to crush her.
You popped her balloon.
Yeah, I didn't mean to crush her. Fortunately, I don't think she really heard what I was saying, but her mom did.
Or she didn't
Oh,
know.
no.
Who they, she didn't know who they were.
Just know what a communist revolutionary is yet until I get a hold of
no.
her. Yeah. So she was right, but it was a window into what the California education system is is teaching these children. I'm very fortunate that my kids don't go to a school that teaches that sort of thing. Although I was very impressed, she did know Frederick Douglass and the contributions he made. So very, very impressive. But I'm a little upset at what the school is teaching about Cesar Chavez. An interesting thing. So we had Columbus Day recently,
Yes, we did.
federal holiday.
Yes, it is.
So I know
Not a state
I know
holiday.
federal workers who had the day off. Box Wine, for example, had
Day
the day
off.
off. Yeah, oh yeah. Consumed a whole lot of alcohol, which is good for her.
Stayed up to her expectations, and I'm proud of her.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think I got the Costco size box
Names mean something.
of wine, absolutely. And but state employees had to go to work, and I thought to myself, wow, the state of California swapped celebrating Christopher Columbus for celebrating a communist revolutionary.
Yeah.
So all these thoughts I had, and it's kind of a my niece, very sweet girl, and sweet
Sweet
story.
and now angry and confused.
I'm not trying to be an a-hole. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I single-handedly crushed her childhood and dreams.
Of course you did.
Absolutely forever.
right, 100% forever. But this is the state of our state, and so then this story hits me, and I'm 1 minute over, so now I get to surprise you guys.
Okay.
And I
Wait, before you start
What?
going off again.
But no, it ties in.
Okay, all right, that's fine. We'll-
Yeah, no, go ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
We're going to skip the intro tonight. And
What
that's
intro?
fine. That's fine.
What intro?
I haven't had a chance to thank BZ. We haven't talked about the chat room. We haven't done all the things that we do
I
on the
know,
Sackheads
we got
radio
people
show.
to thank.
I know, right?
We really do.
No, that's...
We got shit to discuss.
Go-
So,
let's go, nose.
yeah, thank you. The nose knows.
The nose
People.
knows.
Hey, for everybody we're supposed to thank you. Now,
Chat room, shrmedia.com. Click
Yeah,
live chat.
well,
I
Yeah,
guess
go-
the chat
go-
room can
go
go to
to
Thank
hell
you to
as
the
far
people
as
that show up literally every
Clint's
single week.
concerned.
every
for
single
us.
every single
I
week.
appreciate you
thanks.
guys on my damn show.
Listen, I'm not near drunk enough yet to handle this kind of shenaniganry.
Shouldn't try
You know
saying
what?
that 3
I
times.
do want to thank the people that support us and are here every week. Thank you guys very much. I love you. God bless. But I do want to say thoughts and prayers go out to those affected by the California wildfires.
Of course.
Oh, hell yes.
Up to 41. Look, for all of our listeners, all joking aside, the fire has impacted some folks very close to us here at SHR. A lot of people have been displaced, thousands of people. Santa Rosa, there's parts absolutely devastated, Sonoma County, Napa counties. And look, there are a lot of charities out there. Some are scams, some not so much. You got to beware of that stuff. But if you guys are able to, deadliest wildfire in California history, if you're able to donate, be it items or whatever it is, to shelters and to help people get. Some people have literally lost everything.
Yeah.
All of their possessions. Literally everything. I've personally had family touched by this. I've personally had family that has lost everything. This is why I was not here last week. I don't know if the guys told you.
We did not.
So this is something I grew up in that area, have family in that area. So this is something that has very seriously impacted me and my family. Mostly them. This isn't about me obviously, but mostly them. So if there's any way that you guys can help the victims there are folks in need, and I greatly encourage. Look, the firefighters. I know we give them a hard time here, but absolute heroes. Look, those fire guys that are out there, trying to contain this. The law enforcement. If you've seen any of the YouTube videos with sheriff deputies and so forth out there in the fire, driving, trying to evac people. One sheriff sergeant was out there trying to assist a gentleman with somebody who was unable to take care of themselves, got them in the and was literally driving through flames down the mountain. It was absolutely ridiculous, but absolute heroes. And I know law enforcement has really kind of come in from all over the area.
Fire departments from all over the western
fire
part of the
departments
country.
from all over the state fire guys, local fire guys.
I saw New Mexico the other day.
Amazing,
Yeah.
and even the feds, not the FBI, but like
Federal
the US,
firefighters,
but I'm
Forestry
talking
Service.
like the U.S. Marshal Service has resources that are deployed there to assist the locals with helping out and so forth. So for everybody who has stepped up, volunteers,
Oh, yeah.
For everybody that stepped up,
Hey, Guy Fieri.
Yes. So Guy, okay.
Really?
Yes, Guy Fieri set
didn't
up.
know that.
Guy
Yeah.
Fieri set up. He lives in Santa Rosa. He's from there. Got to start there. Set up a smoker and was outside
Mobile smoker.
and fed people who were evacuating.
Hundreds of people from what
And
I heard.
some
Cool. That's wonderful.
some fucktard had the balls
Oh, no.
to get on Facebook and Twitter and to put out something to the effect of "a smoker." Are you kidding me? How insensitive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and yes, and my sister-in-law,
Insensitive. Wait.
who is a
Back up a little
sweetheart.
bit.
Yeah,
Back up a
Let me
little
hang
bit.
on. Let me see if I have the
Okay.
pictures of this.
Insensitive. I don't get it. Insensitive to what?
Why? Because it's a smoker at a fire?
Yes,
What? Jesus fucking Christ, people.
yes.
Get a fucking life.
It's amazing.
In the midst of all this tragedy,
well-
that becomes an issue.
Well, and while Clint's looking
point of
for it,
issue?
for those who don't know, he, with his own money, his own equipment,
Jesus Christ.
bought
Yeah.
food, set it all up, made sure that it was good to go, and served everybody in shelters, volunteers, firefighters, and continues to do so to this day, from what I understand.
Absolutely.
And now you have an a-hole who obviously this is a slice into America. That's the problem. Everybody is so fucking sensitive over the stupidest shit
Yeah.
and looking for reasons to be
That's
outraged.
what he does.
Asshole. Well, even more so. How are you going to fucking cook food without fire?
Yes.
How?
Yeah. And what, a smoker? Oh, because it's smoky out? You can't look. Guy,
Anything he brought to burn, to combust and make heat would be inappropriate based on that statement.
Well,
Yes.
I'm sure there's lots of places to plug in huge microwaves too.
Well, what an asshole that guy is. Jeez
I think it was a female. But anyways, so my sister-in-law completely got on their shit and was like, "Really, I don't see you out here volunteering. It was just awesome." And then, of
How
course,
could you
other
say
people slammed them.
anything about it?
Ridiculous. So, to those that have stepped up, thank you so much. Guy Fieri, I think, is look. That's
Says a lot about who he is.
Says a lot about
like
who
him,
he is
don't
as a
like
guy.
him as a host, whatever. Like his cooking, don't like his cooking. None of that matters.
And
It
to
actually,
the bint who made that comment, fuck off.
yeah. Sorry, wash the sand out of your vagina. That's just ridiculous.
Well, so before I do this story, see about the. Let me see if I can find this story. So there's a mom, and she actually posted a Facebook group that. So her 5-year-old daughter, what's her name? Sashi Ferris, and she's on a bit famous in like mom Facebook groups. And her 5-year-old daughter said that she wanted to dress up as Moana. Right? Little Disney princess, Moana. 5-year-old girl wants to dress up as Moana. This freaking chick goes on and writes a post, and here's what she says, quote, "I had some reservations regarding both costume choices because the other thing she wanted to dress up as was Queen Elsa from Frozen."
Mm-hmm.
This communist says, "I had some reservations regarding both costume choices about cultural appropriation and the power privilege carried by whiteness."
Oh, geez,
Hang on a second, it gets better. "And about whiteness of standards of beauty." She goes on to talk about conversations that she had with her 5-year-old daughter,
Appropriate.
focusing on the ethics about dressing of Moana, and talking about is that really, you know, her daughter's a short-haired brunette, and this is teaching her that if she dresses up like Elsa, then she has to be blue-eyed and long hair to be beautiful. And if she dresses up as Moana, that's really cultural appropriation because they're not Polynesian, and what right do they have
Okay, stop.
to celebrate
Stop.
that? Oh, no, I can't make this shit up.
Stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually getting nauseous at
Okay,
this story.
she should, number one, stay out of cars invented by Caucasoids. Number two, never flick any lights that have to do with electricity or the telephone or the light bulb because that was discovered and created by Caucasoids. So just stop with your life, all right? If you're
Yeah,
going to
just
go
give
that
it away.
route, just
Move into the
stop.
mountains, mountain man.
See, whatever happened to letting your kid dress up for Halloween?
Have
Yeah.
fun.
Have fun and enjoy it.
Yeah. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, no, this is just beyond. This is
stand
what
it.
happens when people are selectively and intentionally being outraged. I guarantee you that woman doesn't think anything like that, but because of this Facebook
Oh,
fame,
no, I guarantee she feels
no,
exactly like that.
I disagree. I think there's so many people now with Facebook, social media, and Twitter fame where you say that one post and put that right post that all of a sudden you're now famous and splashed all over and Ellen puts you on and all this other shit. I think half these people make this shit up. Look at the last election. Who
Yeah.
won?
Trump.
Yeah, they can't be that
I
many.
think.
They can't be that many of them as much as they want to say there are. Hey, two quick things. One, I had information sent to me about Guy Fieri. The organization he's working with for the Santa Rosa fire is called Operation Barbecue Relief. They also fed people.
How insensitive.
They also fed in Harvey and Irma. You know how many people he's feeding a day right now?
How many?
5,000 people a day, and he's been doing it since last Thursday.
You know what? He's a freaking hero.
I'm just.
He's a hero. Anybody that wants to disparage him because of the method he cooks, you go fuck yourself.
No. Bo Bergdahl's a hero.
Bo Bergdahl's a fucking retard.
Just ask Susan Rice. He's a hero.
No offense.
Is
That's a
Bergdahl on the thing tonight? Because if not, we can probably round out this next 10 minutes on Bergdahl.
Well, no, because I got something to round. I got something on this 10
Oh,
minutes.
okay.
I apologize.
All right, no, that's fine.
No, look, it ties back to the original story. We kind of got off on a tangent here. But California has
our job.
California has decriminalized everything.
Right.
Are we in agreement with
They've
that?
criminalized criminalization,
So, do you know
and they've
what is criminal?
decriminalized the act of criminalization.
Well, let me tell you what California has says occur. So here's the punishment for what I'm about to read you.
Okay.
It is a fine not to exceed $1,000, or by imprisonment in the county jail for a period of not exceeding 1 year, or both. That is known as a
Misdemeanor.
That is known as a misdemeanor, correct?
Right. That in other words, that's not just that's not a traffic ticket.
Right.
Press hard for copies.
Right.
It's an actual crime.
Correct.
Right.
So here is what the crime is.
Let me guess. Pronouns?
Here's what the crime is. Here's the text of the law. Signed into law by Governor Jerry Brown.
Of course.
Everybody watch your camera for Sean's face. It shall be unlawful for a long-term care facility or facility staff to take any of the following actions, wholly or partially, on the basis of a person's actual or perceived sexual orientation, gender, identity, gender, expression, or human immunodeficiency virus. Among the unlawful actions are, quote, willfully and repeatedly failing to use a transgender person's
Yes.
preferred name
Yes.
or pronouns
Yes.
after he or she is clearly informed of the preferred name or
Victory.
pronouns.
Victory.
So, my
Everybody
reaction,
watch Sean. Look how red he's getting.
my reaction would be a lot stronger if we didn't talk about non-binary individual.
If you feel like it,
And you wonder why sovereign citizens, with that whole I am the entity, not the person, and I'm the person, not the representative, you wonder why there's credence to their argument. You're giving it to them.
Yeah.
You're giving this to them. This is the friggin' problem. All right? Oh, God, it goes back to these assholes and climate change, right? It's amazing the science that they will fucking hold on to for climate change. Oh, science. We love science. Science, science,
Or,
science,
or
science.
creationism.
Or selective science, creationism, Big Bang Theory, Big Bang dinosaurs,
Evolution.
Evolution, right? Hey, you're born a male or a female. Oh, fuck that.
I've got a gulag with your name on it.
Fuck that you are. You're not born male or female. You're born whatever you decide you're born. There's what,
Thank you.
76?
Thank you.
No, you're born whatever you feel.
Right.
That's right.
You decide.
Jefferson Airplane.
No, you don't even have to feel it, though, but that's given too much credence. You don't have to feel
Hey,
it.
you
You
know
just
what?
have to decide.
Listen, you know what? I'm a toaster.
I'm a fucking, yeah,
I'm a fucking toaster.
absolutely.
There will be a law soon.
I'm a bear. Listen to me growl.
legitimizing marriage.
I get to shit in the woods whenever
to
I want.
toasters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, who are
But
who
you know
are-
what? I am all
who are
for
you-
it.
Who are you to define love?
People
I-
that love inanimate objects.
Who are you to define love, BZ?
Wait. I agree. There should be marriage to the toaster. However, when you consummate, it must be plugged in. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah, I agree
only
on
makes sense. That only makes
Hey,
sense.
really quick before we go to break, I want to thank everyone in the chat room because I haven't said really hi to them. Big Mouth Patriot, BZ. Oh, shit, BZ, you're right there. Okay, good. Mike, Dave, Joe, Golf, Mary, Miss Mary, beautiful 70. She says now she decides that she is 25, which
Oh.
I appreciate, Mary. Good for you.
Excellent. Hey, you know what? If you can decide your gender,
Why can't I decide
which
my
is
age?
non-science, then why can't I decide my age?
Exactly.
By the way,
Proof.
that's called objectivephilia.
Yeah.
When you love
Ooh.
inanimate objects. And by the way, when that came on, the other thing that was delicious,
And
Clint,
viewer number one.
is the fact that as we criminalize that, we decriminalize
Real things.
purposely giving people AIDS.
Oh, you know what else we
That's not a
decriminalize?
felony anymore.
We
so go ahead, just do it.
We decriminalize
Wow.
certain types of rape as non-violent now. The things that we will change in the state and we will not change
Prop-
because of me.
Prop 57.
Yeah, it's
And
absolutely
the people
amazing.
voted
For it.
that.
Absolutely voted for it. Listen,
Because of how it was worded.
listen, when you talk to the rest of the country, and almost the entire country, including liberal parts of the country, agree that the big one should hit and California should sink into the bay. All of it. And this is why. Because of decisions like this. This is the same state that embraces people like Harvey Weinstein, right? All of those people in Sacramento, I guarantee, got money from Weinstein at one time or another. I can almost guarantee it. Governor Moonbeam, I would love to see where donations came from for Moonbeam. I bet you money Weinstein's name is on that check. But
If it's leftist oriented, yeah.
isn't this
he contributed to
anti-female and anti-male?
You
Because
can't,
if
you
you
can't say
identify-
that. That's
if-
why do you have to
If
bring
you
gender
identify
into this?
as a non-binary or anything else other than male or female, and you're saying that you will recognize those, but you don't have to recognize a male or female, hence the non-binary, then it's anti-male and female all at the same time. So let's use their logic against them, shall we?
Yes.
Everybody in California listening right now, it's what, $25 to get a new license? Just the hard copy? I think it's $25. Go to the DMV. You have the time in your hands. Trust me, you'll love this. We are all going to be pick your race. It cannot be the one that you were actually born. It can't be your race. So, like for me, being a white male, maybe I will now be a Asian non-binary.
I'd like to be a Tongan female.
There you go. Tongan female it is.
All right.
And actually, you look kind of Tongan.
Thank you.
So that's good.
I'm feeling Tongan.
You look
today.
Tongan, my friend. But here's, and the first person who does this and sends an email to Sean@shrmedia.com, we will pick something of value out of the studio, something that you want. You know what? So the person that we select, the first person, if it happens, I will take you on a video tour of the studio. Pretty much anything in here, if you do that, is up for the most part for bid, and we'll sign it and give it to you. So if you live in California,
as long as it's not illegal to engage in this, so check your laws.
No, if you're in California
and it's not illegal,
why would it be illegal? You can decide. It's your choice to do what you want.
California,
Right.
that's why.
So there's nothing illegal about it. It has to be in California. If you send me a photocopy of your license, please redact your personal information. I will we will all agree on what can and can't go from the studio. We'll find something, we'll all sign it and send it to you. Because that, to me, is sticking it to the non-binary gender, or male or female, depending on how you... It's sticking it to the man.
Or to the
woman. Or to the non-woman.
Yeah, or to the... I don't even know what to call it, right?
I wouldn't even know.
And the cisgendered, too. Let's not...
Oh, how did I forget that?
So hang on a second. Do feminists not like non-binary individual because it's not female, right?
To the no, hell to the...
Right?
Right. So if you were a feminist and you go against a non-binary person with a vagina and breasts,
right?
Are you an anti? You know what? Now I just got confused.
I have two very important questions when we come back.
You have 30. Okay, we'll do it when we come back.
When we come
back.
Hey,
really quick, check us out on Facebook Live, SHR Media, or on YouTube on the SHR Media channel. We have put our chat room now up on our YouTube feed for the majority of the evening. So if you want to see what's going on in chat room and you're not in there, please jump right in. We are up against a break. When we come back, we have two important questions from the old-timer across the room that we have to talk. Comey, Russians, CIA, illegals, you name it, we got it right here on the Sackheads Radio Show.
We don't have illegals, so just nobody be coming in our door. We don't have illegals.
Stick around, peeps.
Here, at all. Not one.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch River Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Power brokers use corrupt politicians, deceptive Islam, and lies from establishment media to turn the once shining city on a hill into the city of the blind. What do the elites fear? One man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me at SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Spreaker, iTunes, and YouTube for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reverb Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Thank you so much for joining us here on the 18th of October, 2017. BZ, I know you have 2 questions, but I did have this story sent to me.
What?
While we were on break, and
Okay.
this ties into what we were talking about before. German white woman completes her transition into a black woman. Move over, Rachel Dolezal. There's someone else out there who has even more issues, according to the website. This website is from the Grapevine. German model Martina Adam, also known as Martina Big, because of her insanely large breast implants that were apparently botched,
Big.
has completed her transition into a quote-unquote
That's a stripper
black
name.
woman. Here's a photo from 2016. She is very white in this photo. And, oh, Lord. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
come on, let's see. Put it up. Come on.
I
don't
don't
talk about it and not put it up. We got to see.
Oh, boy.
Come on.
Okay, give me a second.
on, it's
Hold
on the
give me a
phone.
second. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Jeez. I can't wait. I can't wait. Okay. Yeah, it looks fairly big from here.
Yeah, except for she's not normally that, how can one say, dark. Her original photo, which I will post right now, she is, in fact, a very, very, very white woman. So white you can't even pick it up on camera, really.
No.
There it is. She is as pale as, like...
Me?
Yeah. Yeah, or even worse.
My legs.
I cannot, for the life of me, understand what... Look, I understand a little bit with Michael Jackson, right? Because he was rich and crazy.
Is she rich, though?
I don't know if she's...
She is crazy.
Rich. But here's the thing with this.
The cool thing about being rich
it's
is
self-mutilation.
you get to be called eccentric. She's just if she was rich,
Right.
she's just eccentric.
Right. If you're rich, you're eccentric. If you're not rich, you're crazy.
Yep.
It's self-mutilation. It really is. It's self-mutilation because it's not. It has nothing to do with wanting to be or sympathizing. It has to do with the fact that you dislike yourself so much that you will go through these extremes to try to make yourself into something that you are not. This isn't a tattoo. This isn't a piercing. This isn't an expression of art, in my opinion. This is all done fucked up. When you start going through these excessive tanning implants and all this other stuff, and here's a little hint, it doesn't make you black.
That's not true.
If you're going for the to be part of the black community,
remember that
that's not going to do it.
It doesn't change your culture.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But it does change. Color is like a physical thing.
When they found out, the black community thought of good old Rach.
I know, Dolezal.
Yeah.
Well, and this woman...
They loved her, right?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, they loved her. They were in love with her. Oh, God. That's where I just... it boggles my mind
Hey,
where
Golf
we're going.
Dogs has a great point in chat. He said, let me get this straight. I can move to California,
Yes.
claim that I'm a black woman, and
Yes.
file for welfare.
Yes.
Full benefits.
Oh, you could file...
That's California. You could file for welfare being a white guy.
Oh, and I told him the other thing is what you need to do is you need to be illegal and claim that you need to come into California for the free abortions. You do know that there's a
What
bill,
if I identify?
a bill coming for people they're starting to push leftists for free abortions for illegals.
How racist? Why? Is it because they don't want people who are here illegally to reproducing? How racist?
You don't get it. Unfortunately, you don't get it.
You know what though? I like BZ's point right now. What if we identify as illegals and then I can go to college for free? Or do a whole bunch of things for free that they give to illegals. I'm not responsible for anything.
Yeah,
Why can't I identify as that?
I don't feel like a national right now.
Right at this second, I don't. I mean, I'm not going to give up my citizenship. However, that's not a question. You don't have to. It's just an identification.
If you feel like that right now, Sean, that should be the only criteria necessary, right?
Right.
But this is right. So you guys are being absurd, but you're illustrating the absurd.
No.
Because the whole gender issue is really absurd. It's like you said earlier, right? There are science. There are certain absolutes. You are here legally, or you are here illegally.
Right.
You have a penis.
You guys don't get it.
Or you do not have a penis. You have a Y chromosome.
Right.
Or you don't have a Y chromosome.
So here's what I want you to do: is the next time you go to take a flight, just identify as the pilot on that plane and see how far that gets you.
Right.
Yeah. No, I don't have to go through security. I'm a pilot. No, I just identify today as one.
Yeah, I feel like a pilot.
I feel like a pilot.
I identify as somebody who is able to legally carry a firearm here. I identify as somebody who works for the federal government.
I identify as a multi-billionaire.
Then you should get money.
Yeah. Somebody should just give it.
Somebody should just give you money.
If you're identifying, this is great. You just opened a door. If you're identifying as a billionaire, should you not therefore be issued a 2017 Rolls-Royce Phantom?
Absolutely.
Or I'm going to take it the other direction.
As.
I'm going to take it the other direction.
Okay.
If you identify as a billionaire, you should have to pay that tax bill.
Well, why not? Oh, what did I do?
What'd you do?
What'd you do?
I did something.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, there we go.
We always do
I gotta
something.
fix
Hey,
it.
so the two questions that I had, because we're talking about gender and whatnot. If gender doesn't mean anything,
And it doesn't.
and it's fluctuous,
And it
and
is.
it can change all
Yes.
the time,
Yes.
because we know that's true.
Right.
Why is it that men who want to be women, for example, go for the typical, prototypical woman look? They want long hair, they want breasts, they want a vagina. Well, that doesn't seem in keeping with the thought of that. You should not need a physical change to be a woman. If you think you're a woman, that's all you should need.
Well, because, BZ, if you think you're a woman, then you're going to want to live as a woman. But if you're living as a woman, that denotes that there is, in fact, an actual gender,
That's
because
my
now
point.
you're
And-
making
and
a
there-
physical change.
And there isn't. So why is it
Right?
that transgenders want so desperately, if they're a woman, to be a man, or if they're a man, to be a woman?
I'm going to schedule a pap smear. My insurance company cannot tell me what I can and can't get.
Yeah. I need a breast.
You realize what they're going to have to stick that speculum
Hey,
in, right?
doctor, you better find my vagina.
You better find
Because I identify that I have one. It's on you, and if you don't, I'm suing you.
That's right. And
For
you-
not recognizing me as a woman.
You have, 15 minutes to do that? Go.
Hey, really good point out of the chat room. Agador Dave says, Clint, if I identify as a billionaire, I should also get the accountant to go with it and get my taxes down to zero.
Good point.
So all of that is there.
Mary Brockman says, if I'm a virtual millionaire, then I should pay virtual taxes.
Absolutely.
Hey, so if I identify as a virgin, does that mean I don't have to pay child support anymore?
Absolutely not.
Right,
You're good
because
to
you
go.
could not have conceived in the first place.
It is impossible for me to have conceived any children because I am a virgin.
That's right. And if you feel that way,
Yes.
that's how it must be.
And who is the court to tell me
Who
that
can tell
it's
you no?
It's not.
I couldn't.
Right. and if I am in fact a virgin now because I feel that way,
and you should,
and I am therefore, it is impossible for me to have conceived any children.
Absolutely.
Unless it was immaculate conception, but it can't be that because they don't believe in God.
Right.
True.
So,
So
right.
that's out.
Science forbids that.
Therefore,
Right out.
I'm not financially responsible.
I agree. Wholeheartedly.
That's the only logical conclusion that you can draw from that.
Based on California thinking.
Yes.
Right.
This is just...
So are we
We're
not-
solving
are we-
problems here, folks, on the
we are
Sackheads Radio Show.
creating new paths for leftists here in Fornicalia.
Here's the best part. There's a leftist somewhere listening to our show with the notebook going, wait.
yeah.
Say that part again.
Yeah.
Wait, back it up.
That's
Back it
freaking
up.
brilliant.
Back it
We're
up.
gonna have to
Back
listen to
it
this
up.
and I have to listen to this in podcast because I missed some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
back this up.
they're thinking right now, hey, everybody, these guys are just pretending to be conservative. You should hear these great ideas.
These guys are miraculous.
These guys are amazing. We're going to get some award from some, like...
we should.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, seriously, some leftist award?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be in front of a speaking panel at
the
dais.
Margaret Sanger Awards.
The Margaret
just so you
Sanger
know.
Awards for everybody.
Yep.
Some dais will have us on there. That'll be wonderful. You guys are amazing what you've done
You
for
guys
us.
are just what you've
What do you
done
mean by
for
you
us.
guys?
Yeah.
What do you mean by you guys?
Yeah.
Here at the award ceremony, you're going to say you guys and
Really?
think this is okay? Jeez, you Louise. Call me you human. And that's only because today I'll be human.
Right.
We got to move on.
Yes, but you could be an hour from now.
We have to move on because this is only going to be ridiculous.
I could be a hubcap.
I see what you did there. Gender ridiculous. I see what you did there, Sean. Don't think I didn't catch that.
Oh, man.
Well,
Everyone's going in for that addictomy.
That means that you
Not
have
everybody,
that
unless
means
you
you
want
first
to.
have to be ridiculous before you're ridiculous.
Right.
Right.
You have to be ridiculous right out of
Aren't women ridiculous?
Let's move on.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
So if
Wait, are you meaning like a Dracula ridiculous, like they're a succubus? Is that what you're going after,
so what,
BZ?
I don't know. What
BZ's saying this, by the way, folks. The rest
Yes,
of us,
BZ is
this
not.
is all BZ.
Yes.
He's saying that women are like vampires.
Yes.
And they're ridiculous.
Yes.
In other words, they suck the life out of you.
Okay, it's like
Yes.
BZ,
Curb
this is horrific.
and BZ.
This
Kick.
Can somebody?
While you're out there, listen
Hey.
for the bus, because that's coming too.
Can somebody get gender reassignment surgery and then renege on that and want to go back?
Well,
Can they?
Did you
can
hear
go
what he
back?
said?
Right. So
What'd I
now
say?
he's
No,
back
no,
to
he
talking.
said renege.
No. He's talking
No,
about
he
the
said
girl who
renege.
changed
Well,
colors.
hang on a second.
and
Right
race.
at the wash out his mouth, he
Hang
said
on.
renege.
Now hang on a second. So if somebody renege is not racial,
Oh,
but if somebody,
oh my
if
God! I can't believe
somebody,
you're saying that.
You said almost like a part of the word, though.
if somebody reneges
You
on
should be-
something,
oh,
right? If
God.
somebody reneges on a particular event, and the person who is the victim of that
Listen to how many
reneging,
times he's saying
hang on,
that.
listen to me.
I'm up
If-
to 11.
If somebody
Yeah.
is the victim
Somebody
of that
needs to
reneging,
count.
they are the renegee, correct?
I'm not.
Well,
an-
what
I'm
about-
not
Seven.
answering this
No,
question.
I'm just curious. What
That's
is
7.
What is it? The person who does the reneging? What are
8.
they?
That's 8.
No, it's 13.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
13.
my
Why aren't you answering my question?
We're moving along.
It's
I'm writing down
it's suffixes here.
13.
I'm
No, pronouns are everything.
moving right along. We are two birds of a feather.
BZ asked that question, by the way.
That was
Somebody bring it
BZ.
out.
And who said the word?
He has to break.
Yeah.
He has to break and wanted Clint to clarify, so he did. Hey,
Hang on, I'm getting a freaking dictionary up because
Wait, he said dick again.
he did once again. Dictionary. He's got dick on the
What
mind
is
tonight.
going on with his mind?
I don't know what's going on.
renege, the Latin word negare, which I think Latin is
13,
obviously
14. That's
This is
15.
to
horrific.
deny
I
or
can't
to
believe I'm
say
part of
no,
this.
and its form negatus,
16.
right? Negatus
17.
gives us the root neg.
18.
Words from the Latin negare have
19.
something to do with saying anything. To renege is to go
Ooh,
back on
20.
or
He's a
deny an
double
agreement
digits.
or promise.
20 times right there, folks. 20 times he said it.
And it's documented. This goes to podcast.
Completely innocuous. I'd like to point out that the blatant bigots, part 1 and 2, seated to my right and left, are doing what the left loves to do, and that is to
That
make
can't be true. I'm a
something-
Tongan woman.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right.
I'm an Asian female.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
Hey, let's talk about Russia. Russia.
There's an easy segue. Not
So if-
clumsy at all.
So if Russia felt like they didn't do anything wrong,
Then
does that
they
mean we
did
gotta let
nothing
them go?
wrong.
Yeah.
What if, say, they did do something like, I don't know, pay an anti-Trump campaign, or I don't know, made deals with the Clintons and the foundations.
Yeah, that's only for owning about 20% of our nuclear material.
Right. And here's the funny part is, this story was around well before the election started,
Mhm.
and then died during the election. Nobody wanted to talk about it. Trump brought it up at one point. People went crazy. How dare he? Blah, 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 blah. But, Clint, we're finding out more now.
Yeah.
We're finding out not only did this deal go.
And what's awesome is the people that actually approve this deal are like Comey.
Yep.
Mueller.
Yep.
Mueller.
Wait a minute.
Get out of my head, okay?
Wait, the guy who's in charge of the Russia investigation?
Yeah, but I'm sure it's fine, Sean.
Yeah.
Stop.
No conflict.
Yeah, there's no conflict there. Who's the jackass name who did Eric Holder?
Oh, Holder, yeah.
Right, and he was involved.
Before
Clinton
the second
herself.
jackass.
That's kind of odd.
Right.
Right, and Obama.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, let's see. That's just about the entire upper echelon of his administration.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yep.
Why is Mueller not fired yet?
First and foremost, why was there not a giant...
Why is Comey not being charged
Why
yet?
is the RICO law not being put into effect right now? Why is RICO not being employed? Why are we not moving forward with a RICO case? Why
did Jeff Sessions today to Congress, because his number 2 is potentially involved in some of this, when he was asked if that individual would recuse himself or be off the case, did he say, "Oh, that's an ethical decision for him to make"?
Jeff Sessions has, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't sense that
he looks like the Lucky Charms guy.
He's invertebrate. And to a degree, I have to agree with Trump when he was pissed at Sessions. Why recuse yourself? No one else would do it.
Right.
No reason. Well, hello, invertebrate. Thy name is a ton of assholes in the Republican Party.
Well, and here's the thing. He's supposed to be... look, he was put in there... He was put in there, is supposed to be kind of a pit bull, right? He was supposed to be out in front of everything. He was supposed to be attacking everything. He was supposed to be hard on it. And he's not. He's backed down more on things now than I can't even be. It's horrific.
Oh,
Twist it. Twist it the other way. The other way. There you go. Now you're good. Nope. There you go.
Hands off.
Yeah, you'll survive.
Okay.
But yeah, so, oh God, he is just not doing. I would love. It should have been Giuliani. I hate to say it. It should have been Rudy. Rudy should be sitting there right now.
I would completely agree, and he has that orientation as a prosecutor.
Yes.
And he knows how the stuff works. But no, that wasn't happening.
Right. Right. That was not happening. And look at, I mean, I absolutely appreciate the fact that he fought pretty hard against, what's his name there? The comedian who's Franken. And he launched back. He had a good back and forth with him today.
He kind of held his own with Franken.
But I'll tell you right now, at the end of the day, the fact that there is not an open and active investigation against all of those people investigated under the RICO laws in this country right now, you want to talk about collusion? You want to talk about joint venture? You want to talk about conspiracy? The Clinton Foundation making all of this money after 20% of our uranium goes offshore via Hillary and her maggots and her circle?
There are still apologists for this stuff. Folks,
yes.
If you want to read pretty much the definitive article on what's been going on with Russia and Hillary and the uranium and the bribery, go to circa, CIRCA.com, and read any story by Sarah Carter, because she's been following this stuff for literally years, circa.com. And the newest article is entitled, "A Russian Nuclear Firm Under FBI Investigation Was Allowed to Purchase U.S. Uranium Supply." I mean, that is the source article from all the rest of this. She writes brilliantly and has been following this for quite some time.
So, I know part of this, part of the RICO, it has to be a criminal organization, right? You could argue that the Clinton Foundation is a criminal organization.
The biggest thing about that is it has to be continuous and it has to have been systemic.
Yes.
In other words, it can't just be one or two or three people.
What about 20% of our uranium supplies?
It has to involve a lot more people. And hell, the people that you just mentioned, it's all of them. And if it's all of them, It's their staffs.
And everybody underneath.
And everybody underneath
And
to a
Bill.
certain degree.
And Bill and significant others in a lot of cases, because now you're hearing that Bill Clinton had this personal attache from Russia who was there.
Racketeer.
Yes.
Influenced.
Yes.
Corrupt.
Yes.
Organization.
And you also, when you go into this investigation, and it's not just the uranium. When I talk about Clinton and the Clinton Foundation, all these other people, right? You start looking. Let's go back to the server issue. How many people signed off on that and made it disappear and made everything be okie dokie with that? You start talking about Huma Abedin and Anthony Weiner. 2,800 emails, government emails, were found on his computer during the course of the investigation. What they were involved in. Huma, right hand man to Hillary, right there. You had the tarmac meeting between Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton that got squashed by Comey and the FBI.
You've got Comey's letter being drafted months before they finish interviews with anybody, and without interviewing the suspect herself.
Right.
The subject of the investigation.
I have a post coming out tomorrow that details all of that stuff, bloviatingzeppelin.net, and I go into that in great detail. Videos, documentation from numerous sources. Tomorrow, there'll be a ton of information about that, but it's all interlinked, and what it continues to show is this, and I think this is the most delicious aspect of it all, really, and that's this. November 8th, a new president was elected. It wasn't Hillary Clinton. The Democrats, the American media maggots and leftists, are not even at November 9th. So because of this, they decided that they were going to create a meme of Russian collusion involving Trump. Once they opened that door, I suspected then that everything was going to walk through that door, and now it's as if they've pointed a weird gun with a bent barrel, and it's pointing back at them, and we're discovering that everything that has to do with Russia now turns out that it is involving the Democrats, aided and abetted in terms of collusion with the American media maggots, and I suspected this was coming, and it's so delicious because it's not only just coming, it's here. Hannity has been ripping the Democrats a new arsehole every night for at least 3 nights, pointing out the obvious.
And he is the only one.
I know.
He is the only one.
But it's so absolutely delicious. Because the other thing that I say, and you guys have both said this yourselves, if there were, because everything leaks, if there were a massive bombshell to go off about the Mueller investigation, it would have been here.
Well,
and someone would have gone to the New York Times.
But the same thing would have happened with all of these cover-ups being done by the FBI and Comey and the Department of Justice and who knows what else, right? If those leaks, we look at this with Las Vegas. We talked about this last night. You can't tell me that something so major is going on in Las Vegas that there's not one leak.
Since then.
That tells you the amount of clampdown they have on that investigation. I'm not saying it's good that there's it's not saying I want a leak.
Yeah, no, look, that's I think that's good. That shows that there's some professionalism within that within that investigation.
But the same thing with the FBI and all that other stuff. There was such control over what was going on.
Look, I don't think it's delicious. Here's why I don't. Where's the fucking prosecution? Where's the DOJ saying, you know what, we're opening an investigation? Congress can ask as many frickin' questions as they want.
But they have
Congress
no teeth.
does not a fucking thing.
That brings us back to Sessions.
They have no teeth.
Not a fucking thing. And
Republicans?
Sessions is no different. I mean, he got into a pissing contest with Franken. You know, he sits there. He doesn't talk about whether this other his number 2 should recuse himself. Doesn't talk about what he's going to do in terms of prosecution or anything. You know, Trump talked about draining the swamp, and the swamp is still overflowing and running amok.
Well, I'll tell you right now,
why is Comey not getting I mean, I know Gowdy wants to bring his ass back to answer for some, but you can't tell me that there is not enough information right now that exists to open an investigation.
Oh, God, are you kidding me?
Right? Or to reopen. You can't tell me that an investigation into Hillary Clinton cannot be reopened.
Oh, that's bullshit.
That is absolute horseshit. Just because you have an investigation that one person says, oh, yeah, we're closing this out, if there's criminality there and you're within the time frames, you can't tell me that somebody can't say, you know what, that's bullshit. There's criminality here, and we have the probable cause to reopen this investigation or to present to a grand jury or to name it. I mean, what? There's new emails that came out today on Anthony Weiner's laptop from Huma Abedin. And it's speculated that there's there's classified information on that.
I think it was in a folder called "Not Classified Government Information."
Right, not classified, so there's nothing to look here. So don't open this.
Right. It was right next to the not kiddie
porn. You have to do what it says.
Yeah. So all of this stuff is interesting, and all this information is coming out, but Hannity can only say so much. And you know what? God bless him for doing it and being a voice. Same with the other shows on SHR and so forth that are talking about this stuff. But the Republicans can blow as much smoke as they want, and the Democrats can talk as much bullshit as they want. But unless there's actually something done, and I believe there is actionable information there, but unless something is actually done, then it's all still bullshit.
Mm-hmm. That's all it is bullshit. I absolutely agree, Clint. And again, this is the time. If Sessions wants to prove that he's worth his salt, whatsoever, then all he has to say, and look, even if he's trying to hide down the political alley of, you know what, we open these investigations, we'll let them go where they go, and we'll find out from there. But just to open it, people will say, "Oh, thank God you're fucking doing something," but they're not even doing that. They can't even do that.
Yes. You know what?
Uranium. What is the uranium used for?
Nuclear weapons.
I could argue very easily that this goes beyond RICO. If any of that material ends up in a nuclear weapon in Russia,
how do you prove that, right? How do you prove that?
Oh, you tell me uranium.
Of course. I mean, you and I know, but how do you prove that? Right? How do you know they're not just it's part of our nuclear energy program?
I can tell you why this happens. I know exactly why this happens. I said it back on. I wrote it on September 13th.
Because we have no more principled leaders.
No, it's this, and damn him for having said so. In the process of speaking to another person that interviewed him, they were talking about the decision by Jeff Sessions not to prosecute Hillary Clinton. Andrew Napolitano was speaking to another interviewer. I don't remember who it was. But he said this specifically, and I said, yeah, okay, that's my new DC axiom. And it goes like this. Now apply it to every situation that you can possibly think of, and you have your answer. Napolitano said, so she was saying, why are we not getting any of this done? What's happening to keep these things from occurring? All the things that you two just posited. And he said, it's an institutional culture in government. We don't want to go after our predecessors because we don't want our successors to come after us.
Yeah, well, you know what? I got a solution for that. And it's
I believe that to be true.
Of course it is.
We're up against the break, guys.
Here's the answer. Here's the answer to that. The states get together and form a constitutional convention. They take the government, the power away from the federal government. Everybody in Congress will shit themselves, and they pass some constitutional amendments, including balanced budget, term limits, and you watch and see
how quickly
truth in bills, quarterly taxes for everyone.
Folks, we're up against the break. We will be back here shortly on the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Stick around. Go to the chat room, shrmedia.com. Click on live chat. I should probably start a commercial now. Here, this is how I roll.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, You can catch River Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Power brokers use corrupt politicians, deceptive Islam, and lies from establishment media to turn the once shining city on a hill into the city of the blind. What do the elites fear? One man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me at SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Spreaker, iTunes, and YouTube for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his person into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reverb Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live in the SHR.
I love that. That's good old headbanging music right there.
Hell yeah, it is. If that doesn't get you going, you're dead inside. Or you just don't like heavy metal music, and that can happen too. Folks, it's the Sackheads Radio Show. It's Wednesday night, the 18th of October, 2017.
Wow.
What? You, wow.
Wow.
Mikhail, what?
Wow, good call. Jeez Louise. Clint, where are we going now? You're driving right now, pal.
I'm driving right now.
You're driving right now, brother.
Yeah, we touched on
driving wheel.
What's that?
Ooh, dude. Oh, no, don't find it. Don't find it, because I'll just let it play all night. Go ahead.
No, go. Keep talking. I got to do things.
Did you guys see where Trump dared crooked Hillary to run against him in 2020?
Yes. So, dude, you know what's funny is, out of all the shit that's been coming out of the news the last 2 weeks, right?
What?
There it is. Fog hat, baby. All right, anything over 15 seconds, we have to pay someone. Shut it down.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
12. Good. Out of all the shit that has come out in the last 2 weeks that has been horrific or intense or all this, this is one of my favorite feel-good stories of the last 2 weeks. Daring crooked Hillary to run. This is my favorite. I can't even. First of all, I think it's ironic that 2 days later she broke her ankle.
Did she?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you see?
I missed that.
Listen, God, and I know I don't even care, but I know the feminists will be all upset. So
because now she can't run on a broken ankle.
Run, but she tweeted a photo of her broken ankle being swollen, and the first comment on Twitter that I saw was somebody said, "Jesus, you couldn't even shave your legs." I was dying, but then somebody else further down and said, "I can't tell where your cankle ends and your ankle begins."
See, that would have been. That was my comment. Okay, like, that's where I would have gone
why
immediately.
Would you put these pictures online? Oh man, so.
I thought that was a good story.
Oh, I thought it was great. God, I dare you to run.
Yeah.
And listen,
And by the way, BZ asked me on break if this is really rum and coke I'm drinking.
Oh, hell yeah, it is.
100%.
Absolutely.
It is
And
absolutely
to that I
rum and
replied,
coke.
fabulous.
Oh, absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, and it is Captain Morgan Tattoo.
Very nice. Good.
Rum.
Ooh, that was a
Now,
good one.
is that different from the regular Captain
It's
Morgan?
darker, yeah.
It's much darker.
It's much darker, smoother rum.
Yes.
Very good.
Now, see, I've never had Captain Morgan, so is that any good?
It's a spiced rum, but their tattoo rum is the bottle is clear, but the bottle looks black.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. it
Okay,
is
so if you're gonna have
absolutely
have a good rum, what's a good rum?
So that's, but it's a
Ooh.
matter of opinion, right? 'Cause
So I like
That's not gonna break the bank.
No.
Oh, not we'll define break the bank.
Kahlua
rum is one. Kahlua rum is
40,
one of my,
50 bucks
yeah.
a bottle.
Kahlua
that kind
rum
of
is
thing?
one of my favorite rums.
Yeah.
It's about $40 a bottle.
But so, and I like Black Seal. I have zero issue with it. I think it's a very good tasting rum. It's
There are
relatively
Caucasoid seals
inexpensive,
too. I mean, let's not
but not
pigeonhole
like
people.
this.
Okay.
And of course, there's rums that you can get in this country that are okay, and there are rums that you get down where rum is actually made.
Well,
in the
see, this
Caribbean
is
that is totally
this is why I
different.
like Kahlua rum, because it's actually made on Kauai, and they grow their own sugar cane for this rum. It is
Okay, now
100%
What's it called? How do you spell it?
Koloa, Kahlua.
K-O-L-O-A. Okay.
Kahlua rum, and it is awesome. I actually did a tasting in their tasting room. They make a Kahlua rum coffee drink that you serve chilled, and it is ridiculous. It's a little harder to find, but you can actually get it here, and it's.
Now, Kahlua, can I go into any grocery
No.
store around here and find
No.
it?
No.
So where would I find it?
Cordy Brothers down the street sells it.
Okay.
Because they're kind of a specialty shop.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to go to their website and try and see if there's anywhere near you that sells it. But it is high quality. And for those of you that know about the Hawaii industry, there's no more really industry there. Like the sugarcane plantations are all gone. Dole
How sad.
pineapple pulled
That's
up, so there's
sad.
no more pineapple there.
Well, and the price
But-
of rum in the next couple of years are going to go through the roof with the hurricanes that hit this year. Too.
Yes. So Kahlua, actually, there is sugarcane on Kauai, and they kept that sugar. They maintained that sugarcane crop so that they can everything. It's made right there.
What's the island in Hawaii? And we've gotten far afield, but what's the island in Hawaii? I know you would know that's privately owned that you can't go to.
Yes. You know
That
it?
one.
Yeah. Niihau.
Is it? Okay.
By the Roberts family.
Wow. All right. So let's go back to Hillary's cankles. No.
Excellent.
That's a test, you guys. How do you guys not know that?
I don't know. What do you mean? How do I not know that? How do you know that?
Families from there.
Okay, so that's a lot different, right?
Yeah, right.
Totally different when your family's from there. Anyhow.
Ni hao.
Ni hao.
That's what he said.
Not knee high.
Ooh.
Ooh, good drinks.
Not a bad knee high.
It's
Orange whip,
it's
orange
not
whip,
not
orange
knee
whip.
high.
3
It's
orange whips.
Niihau. Nii.
Ni hao.
Ni
Yes.
hao. Ni hao. Ni
The Forbidden Island.
The last time we went to Hawaii, Hurricane Iniki had just struck. And I remember that was in the early to mid 90s. And we went there with my ex-girlfriend, and all we saw were massive, whatever the big highway was, we saw massive piles of refrigerators. There's a pile of refrigerators 150 feet tall. Then next to it is a pile of ovens 150 feet tall. And then right next to that is a pile of trees 150 feet tall. And then next to that is a pile of sheet metal 150 feet tall. That place had been raped by Iniki.
Yeah, it's much like what we see in Puerto Rico and the other islands. To get the aid that you need there is just insane.
On the windward
logistically.
side of the island, it used to be like a Marriott or something like that, but there was a hotel that faced the wind during Iniki, and looking at that, looked like it was about 10 stories tall. And have you ever seen the pictures in World War II of a bombed out building that you can see all the individual rooms in it, and you can look through the room and see shit on the other side? That's what this motel was like. It had been vacuumed free of everything that was in there.
That is absolutely insane.
That has nothing to do with any of this.
That
other
has
stuff.
nothing to do with any of this.
So I want to start an SHR poll.
Okay.
If gambling were legal here, which it's not, it would be nice to have some kind of lottery, but we can't do that because it's not legal here in this state. Where is this runaway Chinese space station going to touch down?
Well,
Ooh.
first and foremost, it is legal here.
Ooh.
Gambling is legal to an extent here.
To an extent, but I don't think holding a lottery on where the space station is going to touch down or crash
Probably
is,
not.
right? First of all, how screwed up is it that scientists are like, yeah, it'll be here in a few months. We have no idea where it's going to hit.
We may still have a guy on it. We don't know. We don't know.
And China comes out and says, yeah, most of it will burn up on re-entry. Yeah, we got nothing else.
Most of it. We're pretty good that most of it's going to go.
Yeah, let's see. That station is what, about 20 tons?
It's at least, I think it's old. It's at least like 6 months old.
Yeah, right. So you can figure that maybe 10 to
like
20.
Everything else is made in China. It lasts about 6 months.
Yeah, 10 to
full
20.
of lead paint. It's going to pollute the whole atmosphere as it burns up.
Yeah. Oh, look at it this way. Whatever remains of it, the Chinese can pick up and put in the dog food.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because, you can repurpose a lot of crap.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so where's this thing coming down?
If I had a bet.
How awesome would it be if it came down in North Korea?
In downtown Pyongyang.
That's exactly where I was going with this. Wouldn't it be amazing? Oh, God.
That's gonna be a big divot.
So this is interesting.
Oh, that's
Is
a big
this
star.
is this really China's way of prefacing
Attacking
their
North
own
Korea.
attack on North Korea?
It could very well be.
We have no idea where this is going to come down.
And only at the last second,
Oh, by the way.
Kim?
Hey, Duck. I hope you got an umbrella there, Wile E. Coyote.
We think downtown Pyongyang, that's where it's coming.
Look, how do you not know where this is coming down? Like, isn't there math and stuff? Like, they're good at math.
It is its own Massachusetts driver. That is amazing. Oh, thank you, David. In the chat room, I'm going to love it. Well, here's the other thing. So you brought up North Korea. We don't know where it's going to come down. Their science is just not scientific, and which is fine because
they're like, yeah, it's so far out of control. Like, we have no clue what this thing's going to do.
Yeah, this was great, but we're kind of clueless. Speaking of North Korea, during some of the war games that are going on over there right now, a submarine has been spotted just off the coast, and part of the exercises is a Navy SEAL team believed to be practicing for what is called a decapitation assault on a country.
I wonder what country that would
several reports.
be.
What's a decapitation assault?
To remove the head of a country.
Going for the command and control.
I would say so.
Of a country.
But do they have to do it by beheading?
No.
Like, that seems a little
I
too
would say
ISIS for my
Adak
liking,
gun.
right?
I would say Adak gun.
How amazing would it be?
Here's what I say.
Hang on. So, little Kim, now that we have you here,
we're going to give you some choices.
We're going to give you a choice. So,
do you want the angry dogs?
We're just spitballing here, but what's your most batshit crazy way that you could think of?
Here's your three choices. We can do the 2 women stabbing poison needles into you. That's always a fun one.
Yeah.
Fed to a pack of angry dogs, kept specifically.
That's right out of Game of Thrones.
Right, well, that was right out of North Korea.
Right out of North Korea.
Oh, but you saw it on Game of Thrones.
You saw
cool.
it in North Korea this past year. That's how they've killed like 3 or 4 different people.
Well, then
I've got one.
Perfect.
Adak gun on the wooden wall.
Life imitating art.
What?
So, sir, because you are like a god in your country, we're actually gonna encapsulate you in bronze while you're alive.
Ooh.
And make a statue
like Goldfinger
out of
the
you,
naked chick on the bed in Goldfinger,
and set you up here in the square.
He'd look like a little gold Buddha.
That way, you could, you'd be entombed here, so your people could come celebrate you. Those who truly loved you, wanted to respect you, and you would be memorialized here in your country. And so, what we're gonna do is you and all your top generals. We're gonna sit you all down and have this like living, well, dying, I guess, monument to
semi-living monument
to your regime.
Yeah,
and,
instead of bronzing your baby
and
shoes,
national
you can gold your leaders.
Right.
Or you just bronze half of them.
Which half would you bronze?
The upper.
Because then you get like decay.
I'm just saying shit happens.
Right. Oh, literally.
Yeah. So
it'd be like the Crown from Game of Thrones.
Here's the other creative mission. You get a remote control Adak gun You get a whole bunch of them, just old ones that we're about to get rid of.
Okay.
All outfitted with remote controls to fire.
Everybody has a lot of them that they're about to get rid of.
And you wire them up on the parachute so that the barrels face down, and you drop them over, hit all of its different houses, and let them light up on their way down. I'm just saying, you want to talk about raining fire from the sky.
Innovative.
Different, right?
Okay. It is different. I like it.
It's like a good movie.
Yep.
He's going to go outside with the morning stretch. Oh, look up and go, holy fuck.
You know what we need to do? Sharks with freaking lasers.
Yes.
From
Sharks with lasers.
I want sharks with freaking lasers.
It would be the North Korean version of Sharknado.
Yes. Well, we can load them onto a C-130, a whole shit ton of them, right? Somebody's going to go back and get a shitload of nickels. We need a shitload of sharks. And just dump them out the back with lasers on their heads.
Damn, that's a good idea. I'm getting a great visual out of that. I really am. I'm picking that up very well.
Do you remember?
You know, it's a good thing that they totally fucking advertise what the SEALs are practicing. You know, so that's good. That way that he can totally go into hiding and not. If people,
that's the funny thing. Nobody's seen or heard of him.
Last 2 weeks.
Yeah, for some
Nobody's
time now.
seen him in the last 2 weeks. Part of me wonders though if the Trump administration is not going for complete kind of flexing the muscle, so to speak, intimidation of going, hey, we have all these assets right there, like just cut the shit, really, because we don't want to use it. But look, you know,
yeah, we do. Yes, we do. We absolutely want to use it.
Oh, we need a Sharknado with sharks with freaking lasers on their heads.
Yeah,
we got to get after. Don't we have something that controls the weather and hurricanes? We got to make this happen.
I see. That's just God. Again, I get this great visual of this big chin strap under a shark, and it's tied up on top of the shark, just in front of the fin, though. And then because the fin could be used to stabilize it, and then as it's coming down, teeth are open, gnashing like that, and this laser beam right out of the top of the shark,
nonstop,
right, just kills everybody. Everybody.
I have an idea. All of the NFL players that want to kneel for the flag, we ship them all over to North Korea. And they start an NKFL over there, a North Korean football league.
All right, okay.
What? This is a brilliant idea.
Does this go back to our ISIS idea, though, when it comes time to kill ISIS terrorists?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it does. Okay, good. I like it. Has to do with landmines.
Good, Sean.
Yeah, so we were having an idea
Here's
for
our
what
idea.
to do with the people on Guantanamo and how to get rid of them.
This was a long time ago.
We know they love to play soccer, right?
Yep.
That's big.
Yeah.
Landmines in the soccer field. Losing team does not get to live. Winning team does not get to live. The only way that you get to live is if you score a goal.
Right, and so these are the rules for the North Korean Football League.
Wow, that's innovative.
NKFL. And so our athletes should have an opportunity to go play in that league.
Yes.
Now, if they don't want to, then they can
don't
come
have
back and
to.
stand for their country.
Right.
Right. That is going to that allows them to be free, or there you go play over there.
Yeah. Have fun.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I mean, after all, I don't think North Korea ever imported slaves from Africa, did they?
No,
Ooh, I don't think so.
Yeah, so then they should be able to stand for that anthem.
I mean, they enslaved their own people.
They can.
But not from Africa, right?
That's totally different.
Like, I don't think the North Korean police have ever oppressed African Americans.
Well,
right? Maybe African Africans, but not African Americans.
Right. And I don't think I've seen any African Koreans.
Yeah, and I don't know about the same.
Well, wait a minute.
Russian.
What about that big tall guy that has the tattoos all over him?
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, but he's not a Korean citizen.
Yeah, and they haven't.
I thought he wanted to.
But they haven't oppressed him as an African American.
No, he's actually been put on a high pedestal.
Yeah, over there. So they actually lift African Americans up. As a matter of fact, can you name any communist country who has ever enslaved African Americans? This tells you folks what a horrible country the United States is. The United States is the only country that has ever discriminated against African American citizens in it as its own citizenry. Notice what I did there?
Yeah.
How do we go down these roads? I just
Because
want to
you
know how
talk
we.
about North Korea, and it just opens a whole.
It started with anti-aircraft guns, didn't it? I think it started there.
Which seemed like a reasonable way to kill them.
Well, it was good enough.
Well, it started with North Korean games. It started with China's space station.
China's space station, baby.
But
God.
hey, look up at the skies, folks. Look at the skies.
Yeah, we're dealing with the issues that America cares about.
The most. How we're going to kill Kim Jong-un.
What did they say, though? Another month? 2 months?
Before he's dead?
No, before it comes down.
The space station or
Right.
the North Korean
Yeah, like
machine?
2 months. They don't know for sure.
Yeah, they're not sure when.
Oh, well then, okay. Wait a minute, then it could come down tomorrow.
Right, the North Korean.
Yes.
Wait, the North Korean regime or the space
We don't know.
station?
Well, I think the space station or the North Korean regime.
Oh God, it's only getting worse. I'll tell you.
So, kind of getting us back on. Oh gosh, we go all over the place.
I know. That's
This is one of the things I love this show.
Yeah, that's why people listen.
We're so schizophrenic here.
You are not. Yes, I am.
Yes, I are. Do you see Judicial Watch says that they now have documents related to the tarmac meeting?
Yes,
they do. That's another post that's coming.
Hey, listen, BZ,
it's
listen.
so wonderful
hang
because
on a second.
isn't this the same FBI that said almost a year earlier?
I got a freaking bone to pick with you, BZ. Hang on a second. Hang on. Stop the press.
We can't find him.
Silence his mic, please, Sean. Hang on a second. We have a freaking awesome topics here on SHR. And you refuse to talk about them on the Sackheads radio show because you don't want to showbiz your posts.
And we already agreed. Look at the whiteboard over there.
We have three listeners.
We already agreed.
That is not my handwriting, and so we don't recognize anything that Clint does not write on the whiteboard. We've seen this, BZ.
That's what Clint wrote. Clint wrote
You're right.
Comey. Clint wrote Russia, the
Right.
Clintons. So there we are. We're covering it.
But then you wrote stuff on there. But you
And
don't
you
want
wrote stuff down there.
Yeah, which doesn't count.
Yeah, that's right. That shit's immaterial.
Yeah, just so you know, we're staying away from
You're
all
dying.
of that shit.
You're dying over
Hang on.
there.
We're staying away from all of that shit right there on general principle alone. I am going to frickin' take this show in circles and keep getting us on topic just to avoid the shit that you wrote on the board. Just so you frickin' know. That's my fucking board right there.
I'm dying because you're dying.
Because here's the best part about all of this. I can tell when his tone changes when the rant is coming. And I saw the rant before he even started, and it's as glorious as I imagined it would be.
I didn't pick up it as quickly as you did.
Oh, no, I saw
really
it.
didn't. I mean, I saw it. I saw it boiling, but obviously you identified it earlier.
Oh, God, I knew it was coming.
So props to you.
Oh, the tarmac meeting, BZ.
So hang on a second. Back on point. Talk about some shit we want to talk about instead of just saying you're going to post about it.
Well, you already said, and then so here we are talking about it. The tarmac meeting. The FBI said we can't find it. Basically saying that there was no documentation. Well, let's back up a little bit. I have to ask a question. If
God,
you
I love
have
this
a
show.
meeting between Clinton in his plane, and if I'm not mistaken, he purposely told the pilot, "Stop here, stop here."
I believe that's exactly what he said.
I believe there's cockpit recordings, something of that effect.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact.
So
that may
So
be-
he turns the plane around.
Hey, you guys
And-
stop here. That broad's over there.
And we're going to go meet Loretta
Somebody
Lynch
give me a cigar.
over here. So who
Put this dress on her.
types up the notes and goes, okay, 30 pages.
Yeah.
Who keeps 30 pages of a meeting with just talking about your grandkids?
Well,
somebody who thinks that there's some shenaniganry and wants to
Yes.
remember if they're asked.
No, it's just about grandkids.
Yes.
That's what they said.
Right?
I agree wholeheartedly.
Somebody who's CYA.
Yeah, this is somebody who said, I'm covering my ass.
Not CIA. Totally different organization.
And more than likely, it was somebody from the Secret Service who knew right off the bat that
Maybe.
meeting was a bad idea
Maybe.
and said, nope, they're going to ask me eventually why we did this, and I have to have something to cover my ass.
Or another staffer in the Justice Department,
Somebody.
right, who was in that plane with Loretta Lynch.
Yep, somebody
Or
knew.
the pilot. I don't know. Somebody.
Somebody absolutely knew it had to be the right thing to do. And look, again, we go back into the Clintons' collusion, everything else, and Rico, and look at where we're at with Loretta Lynch.
And
what did she do 2 weeks later? Right? She pressured Comey.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we want to call this a matter, not an investigation.
2 weeks later,
Well-
actually, it was.
Weren't the documents originally non-responsive for this? when they did their first PRA?
They said we find nothing.
Yeah, and now they come back.
There is nothing
shit, we
to
actually
find.
found something."
What they didn't do is there's a cabinet. There's a certain cabinet that they failed to open, and then below that is a drawer, and they didn't open that drawer.
So this brings
and there's
up
a bunch of paper
so this
clips
brings
and
up an
shit, and then the
interesting
30
point.
pages were under there. They're kind of hidden.
So this brings up an interesting point, right? So they were non-responsive under the Obama administration.
Right.
Under the Trump administration, they're
responsive.
finding shit.
Yeah.
So can we really slam the DOJ under Trump, or do we just slam the DOJ in general, do we slam the DOJ under
DOJ in
Obama?
general? And here's why: the integrity, no matter who's in the front office, should be there.
Should.
I'm not saying that the people who aren't bringing this out now don't deserve credit for it, but the DOJ.
And that's kind of my point.
Yeah, the DOJ, by and large, though, does own this as a community. As a community, somebody should have had the stones 2 years ago to come out and say, or a year and a half ago now, to come out and say, hey, you guys can't hide this shit. This has to go to the public. This is an inappropriate meeting, especially given the fact that President Clinton's wife is under investigation from the Department of Justice. He should not be having a one-on-one meeting with the head or with the AG who runs the Department of Justice. It is inappropriate and it is wrong, and here's what happened on that plane.
The thing that I find extremely disappointing on every level is the FBI continues to say or allege that they are apolitical. fucking wrong. Okay,
Yeah, just which apolitical they choose.
And all the Democrats, leftists are saying that the alphabet agencies are apolitical. And again, bullshit. Complete and utter unmitigated bullshit. So, and now we're losing certain aspects of law enforcement. We know that they're in the tank politically. That the reason that one of the reasons that crime statistics are going up now is that many officials in various agencies have essentially told their officers that they are over policing, and so they're backing off. Well, okay, if we can't believe in the credence of the FBI, if we can't believe in the credence of the U.S. government, if we can't believe in the credence of various law enforcement agencies, then on whom can we believe in, and whom can we trust?
Right. You can't. That's the biggest problem right now. Here's the thing. We've talked about this before with the Department of Justice. When they have been put on this pedestal of being so important in everyday part of policing that when they are completely corrupt and they show up and do these investigations, you look at Ferguson and all these other places where there's nothing there and they find nothing, but they say it's something. Then you watch it trickle down into departments like Berkeley, the corruption of not policing. You watch it trickle down to these departments, like you said, who are saying, hey, you guys are over policing, right? That was systemic over the last 8 years. It only got worse over the last 8 years when the Obama administration and Lynch and Holder were in charge. And you had them it was literally became the personal muscle and arm, if you will, for the Obama administration to go in and shut down policing. Oh, we're up against a break. Finally get on a rant.
There's so much more to go into,
finally get a
though.
little mic time. And
We spent 2 hours last night talking about that, and now people wonder why they're questioning law enforcement?
Yeah. And I hate doing it. That's the worst part of it. I hate to do it.
But
it hurts me.
The shite stepped off today again about that.
And we will talk about that when we get back here on the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Stick around. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Power brokers use corrupt politicians, deceptive Islam, and lies from establishment media to turn the once shining city on a hill into the city of the blind. What do the elites fear? One man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me at SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Spreaker, iTunes, and YouTube for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reverb Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Last 30 minutes of the big show. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are going down the home stretch.
And how fast did this go?
Speed. Breakneck speed,
Boom,
I say.
boom,
Breakneck
boom.
speed. Well, I stepped out of the room for a minute, and when I came back, there was an intense conversation.
There was.
And I said, what are you guys talking about? And you said, we're going to spring it to you on the air. So let's have it, motherfuckers.
So,
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, go ahead, BZ. I'm sorry.
3 weeks ago, you were gone, and it was something to do with it was a tutu or something like that. Wasn't
It was, yes.
He had a recital.
Yeah.
He did have a recital.
It
That
does
was
not matter. I got it fitted. I was miraculous.
Okay.
Think Black Swan. Go ahead.
Oh, ooh. Interesting movie, by the way. Crazy,
I
but
don't,
interesting.
I don't watch gay porn.
Anyway, good point. Clint and I spent an hour and a half of the show, at least an hour, let me put it this way, of the last hour of the show, talking about, Clint said, and I had no idea, that as of, what did you say, October something?
October 26th.
24th or 26th.
Yeah.
That the 3,000 documents, previously secret documents on the JFK assassination were going to be released. And I have to admit, I had no idea that was coming at all. And so we got into it was
an awesome.
It was a great conversation.
Yeah, it was awesome
about the assassination, about all sorts of theories that were occurring, and I had a great time. I had a wonderful time. But what did you say about that, Clint?
No, go on.
No. I want people to hear what you said then 3 weeks ago.
Okay,
Hey,
so
look, I'm holding up the logo. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's cool. That's like going to the Leaning Tower of Pisa and going, I don't know what.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I got nothing. So 3 weeks ago, we were talking. It was a great discussion. If you haven't heard that segment, I highly encourage you to go back and listen to it. It's very, very interesting. But one of the things that we talked about is, hey, if anybody opposes the release of these documents, it'd be interesting to see, and that I believe that'll tell you a lot about some stuff. And one of the things was, look, if it really was Lee Harvey Oswald acting by himself, nothing nefarious, and the reason that everything was classified is because sensitivity of the country and so forth, he was very beloved. Just wait some time for some time to die down. Then there's absolutely no need for the government to oppose those documents being made public. There's the investigative means don't need to be right. Most of the witnesses and investigators are probably dead.
Yeah,
most of the people involved or whatever. So there really should be no reason to come out against the release of these documents unless there's something more there. And I believe, and I have to go back to listen to specifically what I said, but I believe something to the effect of the CIA came up. And I said, you know what, if like the CIA or something like that opposes the release of these documents, you really have to
Wonder why.
think that there is something else there. For example, was a foreign government involved?
Right.
Is this something that could potentially lead to an international incident? I mean, you have to start going down that road, because if it really is a lone gunman and
Shouldn't
this
be an issue.
U.S. citizen and we just did this investigation,
shouldn't be an issue.
everybody's dead.
Yeah, who cares?
No need to, right?
No one
it's
will
an
care.
investigation.
If the dust is settled.
It
U.S.
brings me to-
president. It's historical. We need to know what happened, right? Lincoln
brings
assassination
me
and
to
so
the
forth.
Ed of the Rock.
So
The movie The Rock. Hey, honey, you want to know who killed JFK?
yeah. So, but we had this discussion about what
so
it could potentially mean. Good.
At the break, I show my laptop to Clint.
No, not until after you ask me. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so here's an article that I found from disclosetv.com, which is kind of an interesting place to go. Kind of supernatural, but every once in a while they really strike with some good stuff. And here's one of them. The headline says, CIA, Clint, just like you said, urges U.S. president, and we discussed who was going to urge whom.
Yep.
And then would it be the ultimate, that is to say, would it be the president of the United States? And I believe you concluded, yes,
Yep.
it would have to be the president who would ultimately say yay or nay. So again, you were right on that. CIA urges U.S. president to delay release of 3,000 secret documents on JFK assassination. More than 3,000 never-before-seen documents from the FBI, CIA, and Justice Department on the assassination of John F. Kennedy are scheduled to be released. Many experts, now that's a quote, fearing that such a massive release of top-secret JFK assassination files will spur a new generation of conspiracy theorists. According to Roger Stone, the CIA is urging the U.S. President Donald Trump to delay disclosing some of the files for another 25 years.
Why?
So how
Why?
could if there's nothing there?
Why? Roger Stone wrote this on his very own website. They must reflect badly on the CIA, even though virtually everyone involved is long dead.
Well, and I don't know that that's the case. I don't think that it would reflect badly on the CIA. I mean, I guess maybe a little bit, but I think that if it would hatch a whole new generation of conspiracy theorists, then there is frickin' something there.
Well, so I've
right?
said all along, I believe there was a Cuba.
Otherwise,
I believe there was a Cuba and Russia involvement, and I believe that they were so embarrassed to get caught with their pants down that they tried to hide it for so long. That's always been my personal belief. I've always believed that.
Look, and now if that's the case, can you imagine now, with everything surrounding Russia,
right,
and the presidential, and I think we even talked about this too, right? I think, but you have everything happening in Russia and meddling and the Clintons and everything else. What if it came out in 11 days that the Russians were involved in the assassination of a United States president?
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
That might be poor timing. With this caveat, then, another if-then equation, if that comes to Trump's attention, would he not rejoice in the ability to say,
hey,
bing,
look at it,
let
Russia.
him go?
The other thing, too, you brought up the reflection of the CIA. If it didn't reflect poorly, after all the years of scrutiny and suggestions and theories and all this other stuff, wouldn't you then, if you're the head of the CIA, go, hey, this will finally clear our name because our name's been tossed around so much as a player in the assassination?
No, and here's why. You have people talking about conspiracy and covering up Russia connections now. If it comes out that the CIA and the government did not withheld documents related to the assassination because the Russians were involved and they were covering up Russian involvement, you don't think that that would spur talk about what they're covering up with Russia's alleged involvement in our elections, the nuclear material, the Clintons, and all that?
There were two guys in this article that were mentioned, a guy named Philip Shannon and Larry Sabato. Now, Sabato happens to be the director of the University of Virginia Center for Politics, and he's an author of The Kennedy Half Century. And this guy, Shannon, is a former reporter for the New York Times and author of A Cruel and Shocking Act, The Secret History of the Kennedy Assassination. So,
look at...
If it's secret and he knows about it, by definition, it's not secret.
Look at... here's the long and short of it is, I've said for a long time in regards to this, it's time for the information to come out.
Yeah.
It's time for it to be declassified. America has the right at this point. We talked about last night investigations, and when we as a citizenry have a right to information, we don't. We talked about Las Vegas. Hey, as much as people don't want to admit it, we don't have a right to what's going on in that investigation right now because it's an active investigation.
Correct.
Unless this is still an active investigation and or the information in there can be deemed classified, at which point, if it's specific to maybe some missile technology, if something like that is in there. But I'm just saying...
Those missiles from the 60s?
But even if they are still classified for some reason, right, then you can redact that specific information from these files and still release them. The overall totality of this investigation, I believe the country now has a right to know exactly what happened.
Look, unless there is something in there that would legitimately pose a national safety risk, and
there could
so
be.
Would a potential.
But what could then could you not release a portion of those?
Yes.
But that's
and
what
just,
I'm saying.
And
Redact.
you just redact some of the stuff,
Yes,
and the
absolutely.
stuff that isn't mission critical, so to speak. You go, okay, here it is. You can have it.
But this is why it's very interesting to me, because if they want to withhold 3,000 pages or whatever,
and that's an ass load of documents.
Yes. So,
but you also
something is in there.
So
there's no reason. I'm sorry, Sean. There's no reason to hold on to nothing.
So it reflects poorly on somebody, right? And we know that.
Or does it? Oh, you're talking like a foreign government or whatever.
Either a foreign government or our own government who
us.
failed to catch something, or maybe you don't know. Like,
even if our own government failed to catch something, this doesn't explain why it would hold on to these documents.
Hey,
for me,
what if Lee Harvey Oswald was a trained CIA operative who went rogue and decided to go crazy and killed him, right? I'm going on a limb. I'm giving an example.
But we're still talking about everything internal with programs for people that are long since dead.
I understand that.
Unless you're talking about, the only thing that makes sense in my mind right now, without knowing what's in those documents, is implication of a foreign government.
I love when we go to Crazy Town, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
the only thing that makes sense to me is implication of a foreign government, because that absolutely affects foreign policy and our ability to do business in the world today. And could you imagine if there was something in there that some foreign government was involved in an assassination of a United States president? Do you think that people in this world, I don't care if the assassination was 50 years ago, do you think that there are people in this country who would absolutely call for that country to be held responsible? That is an act of war. I don't care if it was 50 years ago.
The assassination of a sitting president of any nation.
Yes.
Exactly.
With the exception of North Korea.
Two interesting points about this. The National Archives actually came out and said they are not going to say whether any agencies have appealed the release of the documents. And the second thing is, remember some of the last words of the dude from Cuba. Remember he
Oswald?
said of Oswald.
I'm a patsy.
I'm a patsy.
Before he was shot.
Yes.
He was shot and killed by Jack Ruby.
Jack Ruby.
What's Ruby's background?
Mob. He was connected heavily to the mob.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Who was
and the mob was in bed with the United States government.
Right, but who was also, but other portions of the United States government was targeting the mob
dating back
directly.
to World War II, right, including Kennedy's brother.
And the mob was linked to Cuba, and Cuba was linked to
But
the
then
Russians.
you also had Kennedy's DOJ starting to go after the
His
mob
brother.
hardcore.
His brother.
Yes.
Robert Kennedy was the hammer for JFK.
Yes.
Yeah, Bob.
So even if the mob was involved in the assassination somehow, why would the government need to keep that secret at this point?
It's a logical question.
Well, and the other thing too is if it's a foreign entity, then
Why would the CIA need to keep domestic secrets?
So at the time, and you know,
Like that.
Dave Milner is saying this in chat right now, and I agree. It's an act of war. Look how the media has useful idiots trained, etc. So at the time, if it was, they were afraid that it would lead to the all-out nuclear war if it came to the government, or if it came out that the Russians had him killed or the Cubans had him killed.
Yeah.
Here you are 50 years later, well, 50 plus years later now, right? Yeah, you're going to have people more angry at Russia now than they ever have been, but here's a little hint. Most people in this country are right now.
So yes,
And
but
the government
that's,
still would control what action, if any, would be taken military against
But
Russia.
that is why, right now, with tensions already running high in this country with Russia and all this involvement stuff, it makes sense to me, again, not knowing what's in there, that the CIA would want to hold on to that for another 25 years if Russia's involved. Maybe to a time where national sentiment is lower, because right now people are already pissed off at Russia.
Right.
And if it came out that they were potentially involved in the assassination of the United States president, people are already starting at this level. It's going to take, and yes, the government has control, but the government is all of elected officials. And if they fail to act like the people think they should act with that information,
I understand that.
So that's the key, right? So let me ask you this. If it came out that Russia was involved, the Soviet Union, which is no longer there. So, hey, Mr. Trump, if that's what's in there, there's your out. There is no Soviet Union anymore like there was at that time.
That government is gone.
Doesn't exist. There's your out. But if it does have that Russia or the former Soviet Union has involvement, would you call for war?
No.
BZ, would you?
No. It's like the sins of the father.
Yeah.
Right.
No different than
That's
I should be paying.
another question for that is, well, you're Caucasoid and you're Caucasoid and I'm Caucasoid. Shouldn't we be paying reparations for the Civil War?
Exactly right.
It's the same thing. It's so far gone at this point. Yeah, you know what? I would understand why people who were alive during the assassination would be more furious and outraged than say, I'd be upset that it happened, don't get me wrong. But I also know people, BZ, you're one of them, I believe, who was alive when Kennedy was assassinated.
Oh, hell yeah.
And who it would still be personal because they were living under that anti-Soviet Union, missile drills, the whole 9 yards, and then to find out that they killed an American president, yes, they would be absolutely furious.
I was 13. Don't tell anyone.
But so would this boost the conservative movement in the country
Yes.
against communism?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to read an article, and I'm going to ask you guys if you think this is propaganda. This is from Politico, and people place a lot of credence in Politico.
Sorry, I had something in my throat.
I know you do, but a lot of people on the left and the middle place a lot of credence in Politico.
Sorry.
It's the rum talking.
Oh, sorry.
The JFK document dump could be a fiasco. Now, if this isn't a plant, I don't know what is. Later this month, the National Archives is set to release thousands of documents about JFK's assassination. It's likely to fuel conspiracy theorists for years. So as far as the authors of this are saying, well, that's one of the best reasons that I can possibly think of not to release the document. The federal government's long campaign to try to choke off rampant conspiracy theories about the November 1963 assassination of President JFK is threatening to end this month in massive confusion, if not chaos. Within the next chaos.
From giving the American people information. Chaos will ensue.
That's
you know what's
right.
going to happen is that's a clear indicator that people in this country cannot maturely handle certain information, which is sad, but that's not a
One
reason to hold it
person
back.
acted alone and assassinated a United States president, and the investigation was bungled, and nobody was ever brought to justice, and cats and dogs living together,
Mating.
mass hysteria.
You got it.
But what if it wasn't?
There's no other reason to hold on to the documents.
And there is every indication.
Because it would kill all the conspiracy. If there's nothing there, it would kill all the conspiracy theories.
Go bye-bye.
Yeah, so these
Here's
guys are
all
full
the
of,
documents.
They're full of crap.
Of course they
and
are.
there is every indication that the massive document dump, especially if any of it is blocked by President Donald Trump, the only person empowered by the law to stop the release of the files, will simply help fuel a new generation of conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, so look, if he does stop the documents from coming out, of course there's going to be conspiracy
Why
theories.
would there not be?
How could there not be?
Would there also not be blowback if something comes out and people say, and you know this would happen, you know this would happen? People coming back and saying, oh, Donald Trump, you should have stopped this. You had the power and the ability as President of the United States to stop this confusion and chaos. And you could have done something, but you didn't. You failed to do something.
Yes, and you know what he would say? Because Trump is smarter than that. He'd come in and say, you know what? I had faith in the American people that they had the
wherewithal and the ability to process all this information.
But you look at what's going on right now with Las Vegas and the amount of conspiracy theories, and we discussed this on the show last night, some of which I absolutely am starting to subscribe to because of the lack of information right now.
Well, and the fact you got to go where the evidence indicates.
Right. So you look at how...
Stop right there. Stop right there. Tell people what the story is that you just got.
So there was a story sent to me earlier today from a Lombardo interview. I believe it was from this afternoon or yesterday, where somebody had asked him about Paddock's vehicle. Was it set up, or is it believed that he would be going mobile? Lombardo, the sheriff of Las Vegas Metro PD, took a deep breath, and off camera, I don't know who it was, somebody whispered to him, "Don't go there." And it's audio enhanced. And I'll tell you right now, I sent it to you. It's on Facebook. Give me 30 seconds, and I will pull up the name.
Is it authentic? Do we know that's authentic? I mean, if it's audio enhanced.
No, so you can hear the mumble offhand, and all they do is amplify the sound.
Here it is, conservativetribune.com,
Yes.
the headline. Catches mystery voice telling LV sheriff to not say too much. The mysteries swirling around the deadly Las Vegas incident continue to leave people baffled. I was going to use this for tomorrow, by the way, and so that blows your theory completely out of the water that I'm hoarding information.
And the only reason you're doing this is because of what I said. Yeah, I can spin it my way too.
In many cases of a mass shooting or terrorist attack, within several weeks the missing details have been filled in, and at least a generally understandable picture of what happened is available. However, with each passing day after the Las Vegas tragedy, it seems that there are more unanswered questions than ever before. Same thing you and I talked about for 2 hours last night. There were numerous reports. Now a strange piece of audio has started to receive attention. This looks like this might be on Facebook, and if so, I'm going to see if we can hear it.
Well, it is. You won't be able to. When you listen to the audio, it's not going to carry well over the microphone. You have
This
to listen to it
this is
directly.
not a cardioid, so it'll pick up.
No, I've listened to the audio 4 or 5 times. I don't think it'll carry well.
If somebody off camera is telling them don't go there, who gives a shit? It's an active investigation.
Right.
Perhaps there's information there
But you're
about
the sheriff.
So?
But what I'm saying is
perhaps there's information there that, yeah, you know what, we don't want the public to know he was getting ready to go mobile because there's other things we have to do in this investigation,
Right,
or that will open up doors to other questions
Right.
that we don't want answered
And
right now.
So I understand that.
Yeah.
But he's given this press conference. That's a pretty big thing that should have been covered prior to the press conference.
It says a reporter asked a straightforward question about whether or not a car had been staged for the shooter to escape.
Yeah. And look,
which has already been answered, by the way. Had already been answered earlier on.
So,
but I
mean, that's look, a lack of information coming out for this investigation. This is a big investigation. This is the deadliest active killer attack. And so, yeah, you know what? Hold this shit close to your vest. I'm sorry, media, of which we're a part of right now. We are not entitled to all of that information.
I agree wholeheartedly.
And if people want that just because they want, I don't see it in this case.
But I've said time and again, if it was single shooter, right? If he was the only person involved, which is what the narrative is right now, and that he just went crazy. Above all the other questions that you could ask,
is that really the narrative, though?
Yeah.
I mean, they've set out a certain fact pattern
But that's
coming
been
out.
that's been their
right?
narrative from the beginning.
That's been kind of the perception of the fact pattern they've laid out.
Right, but that's been their narrative. They don't believe other people are involved.
Well, that's
He
what
said
they're
that
saying.
time and again.
Yeah, but they can. That
I
doesn't mean
understand
that they
can-
may not actually believe that.
Right,
You know,
I understand
they
that.
could be saying that because
They
they're
don't
looking
wanna
at other
spook
things.
other people. And
Absolutely.
I understand that as well.
Let's see if we can hear it. I'm gonna try it.
I think it's fair for you to ask him, and then I would like to get to Senator Heller and Commissioner Sisolak.
No,
Yeah, it doesn't carry over on the Cartwright. But so I understand what that is, but it seems like there's going to be certain information that he should already know not to touch going into an investigation when you're dealing with media.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey,
or,
don't discuss the car whatsoever.
Look,
Okay.
those kind of briefings,
see,
though. I mean, everything is so.
I agree with you. It's been going on so long that they already have their narrative.
Good job.
You know, it's possible they talked about it and he kind of balked for a second, like can I skirt this? How do I skirt this? And somebody just kind of reminded him, hey, don't go there. I don't see that as a big deal. I really don't.
I think they've had their narrative down for a while.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
I think they've already agreed for quite some time what they're going to chat about, what they're not going to chat about.
You're right.
And specifically, you said last night that each interview that he gives subsequent, it's a rehash of the same thing again.
So let me
and
ask
again.
this: is it possible that he asks a question, he hesitates in his answer, and somebody reminds him, "Hey, don't go there"? Of course it is.
It's possible.
Of course it's possible.
But it seems very, very strange to me, is what I'm saying. It just seems like a strange thing for somebody else to be going, hey, don't go there.
I can explain that away very, very easily. The guy's
Bingo,
tired.
That's exactly what we said last night. Is it not? Did I not say, and did you not say that also, taking each one of these things individually, just like you said, Clint, taken individually, it doesn't mean shit.
You start throwing it
but
together.
you throw it
though.
all together,
Yeah.
and you create a pattern and a trend, and it's gone on.
So you know what that would tell me? That would tell me that there's some shit they're holding on to.
I agree.
That they don't want. That they don't
I
want.
agree.
That they
Yeah.
don't want to talk
Completely.
about.
That tells you that there's more going on than what we're
Completely
being
agreed.
told.
But that's all it says to me.
But
is
that
there's
does
potentially
surmise
more-
what the whole point of last night is. We're not getting the story yet, and that's why when we were talking about this before the show is, I don't believe that it was a single shooter incident. I just don't believe it.
Yeah.
Let me. I know we're
2
going
minutes.
to have to go pretty soon. Let me throw this out, because in almost every major incident of any severity, a day or two, or sometimes within the day, if it's available, do you not see, even in major terrorist events where many people are killed, do you not see in some fashion video revealed?
Yeah.
There's not been one
Official
drop
video
of this. Not one. That in and of itself.
Are the feds running this investigation, or is the sheriff?
Well, that's another question too.
We suspect the FBI, but
Well, so if it is a single
I can't
homicide
say.
incident, then it would be the Vegas Metropolitan Vegas PD
You have
with
the-
support from the FBI.
You have the deadliest rapid mass murder attack in history, right?
Yep.
Right now. So I guarantee they're getting at least Fed assistance
Oh,
if the
they're
feds aren't
absolutely
involved.
getting federal assistance. Yeah.
And so look, I am willing to cut them a lot of slack and to give them a lot of leeway.
Isn't that rich after what he says about the FBI?
No, I'm not talking. Fuck the FBI. I'm talking about the sheriff.
No, so
I'm talking the sheriff, not the FBI.
I
Fuck
said
the
last
FBI.
night that there are times though that I feel like the sheriff, when he's giving his interviews, if you watch his blinks, he's blinking SOS.
Look, it may be, and the guy's a politician because he's a sheriff, right? So he's not going to come out and say, "Yeah, you know what? I'm not telling you that." The guy's got to run for re-election.
Yeah, but
he can reiterate talking points. I agree that there's more to the investigation than there. That's a no-brainer,
Right. But
right?
what I'm saying with Lombardo
But
specifically,
I don't think it's a conspiracy.
I think Lombardo is such a good guy that it is killing him.
It's grating.
It is grating
Probably.
him to have to play the political game. That's
Probably.
one of my major points about that.
But you know what? But it's probably best for the investigation that
I'm
he
not
does.
saying it's not.
You know?
But what I'm saying is there has been a lot of questions that are just being added versus being answered, and it's very telling of where the investigation's going, in my humble opinion.
On the other hand, ask yourself this: if doesn't
No.
the FBI
I don't want to ask myself anything. I'm tired.
investigate things that are on a federal level or cross state lines? If there was no terrorism involved at whatsoever. Just one crazy guy up there shooting down. Why do you need the FBI?
They may be assisting because from a resource standpoint,
Well,
because
and
this
that's-
investigation exceeds
then-
the
But
resource
it wouldn't be their
capability.
investigation.
Then-
It would be a federal.
That's
But
right.
who's speaking?
Who's
It's
in
not a
charge?
Fed who's speaking.
No,
It's
they
the
all
sheriff
speak.
who's speaking,
ATF
right?
and the FBI speak.
Look, so
regularly.
ATF could be involved because obviously you
The
got
firearms,
the
I
firearms
guess.
aspect,
And
right?
the
But the
explosives.
FBI.
Yeah, FBI
I'm
because
just
they
saying
have
that-
to be involved in everything.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There's a lot of questions that still need to be answered. Folks, that's it for the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network.
2 hours.
It is the
2 hours.
18th of October. We appreciate you guys sticking around with us. Make sure you check in early tomorrow morning for Pastor Shannon and Mike going through the afternoon. You pick it up with the right guy and move on through Melanie and everyone else right up through BZ, who'll close it out at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 on the East Coast with Berserk Bobcat Saloon. We will talk to you next week.
That's a lot of shows.
Late night conservative talk show in America, Sackheads Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk than Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on the immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work there too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best late night conservative talk, Sackheads Radio.
Hack news. Hack news.
Radio.
Hack news. Hack news.
Radio.
The best late night conservative talk show in America. In America.
In America.
Into the silo.
And in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've